Hello, my name is Caitlin Rubens, and today I will be talking to you guys about the early immigrant experiences and their stories in this particular discussion. I will be examining the text through the lens of the past theory that we learned in class, which is Nussbaum's narrative imagination as essential to democratic citizenship. To begin, all of us read about each of the early immigrant experiences from those people who have come abroad to America. Before and after reading these stories, how would you describe what immigration is? As I described in my discussion post on Canvas about immigration, I would describe immigration as when one person moves to another country with intentions on staying there permanently. While reading these stories regarding immigration, Mary Sellow's story in particular caught my eye. In her story, she described her area living in Mexico in a small town very dangerous. One day she came home and got notified that her father was killed. As devastated as her mother was, she decided that it would be best for her and her family to move to America for a safer place for her family to live. They made the move into a small apartment later. Mary Sellow and her siblings earned good grades in school, and she eventually became a police officer. She mentioned how she wanted to save people's lives and prevent crime from happening. She wanted to become a police officer in honor of her father and did not want the same thing to happen to her father to anyone else in the world. This is one of the many successful immigrant stories and reminded me of my aunt. My Aunt Ratira was an immigrant from Cambodia. I interviewed her over the phone and found out more information on her life as an immigrant. She came to the United States in 1995 after there was a mass genocide before the Civil War. When she had to find a job to earn her work visa. Her first job was working at the Embassy of Morocco. She was an accountant there and received her work visa. She worked there for a few months and then found a better job working for a non-profit business organization. She joined because the organization advocated for human rights for different countries around the world, including her own. She wanted to do something that was meaningful to her country and to help out others. She loved this work because she liked to see the smiling faces and the people that she impacted. It brought satisfaction into her life. After 2 years of working for this organization, she became successful in the realtor business for 10 years. In 2011, her husband got sick, and she needed to help him out with his business. She left her realtor job and went to work for her husband in his company, named Leffler Consulting after their last name. Along the way, they had a daughter. Now, they both share their business and are both successful business owners. She claimed that this business is successful because she was very lucky in her life to hold many job opportunities and positions that gave her a broader view of what it was like to work in the job field. She ended her interview by saying, "With all these obstacles I face, those obstacles helped me to become the successful woman that I am today." This goes to show that there are endless opportunities in the United States. Before I read Mary Sellow's story and interviewed my aunt, I did not realize that other people had struggles coming into the United States. It went completely over my head. In contrast, the history textbooks somewhat mention immigration, but primarily focus most of their time on the civil wars that have happened over these past few decades. When reading the different stories from these people, including Mary Sellow's story, I had to conduct research, which is the research I used in this presentation, to really understand what life was as an immigrant. Moreover, in contrast, when listening to my aunt talk, I never really knew her background story, so it was interesting to understand what her life was before she came to the United States, and why she decided to come into the United States in the first place. Furthermore, I had not considered everything that these people had to go through just to get into the United States, such as earning a work visa to get a job, or just struggling financially, and had never really put myself in the place of other people's shoes before. With that being said, I just did some research and found a quote that was originated by Native Americans from the Cherokee tribe. The quote is as follows: "Don't judge someone until you've walked a mile in their shoes." This statement reminded me of Nussbaum's last capacity, which is having the ability to think what it might be like to be in the shoes of somebody else. We all need to realize that each and every single one of us are different and come from different backgrounds and cultures. Not one person is the same as another. I encourage you all to take a moment and think about what your life would be like if you came into America as an immigrant, having very little, not knowing much English, and trying to find a place to stay. What would you do? Who would you go to? And how would you receive your income? Furthermore, we talked about classism. According to Oxford, classism is prejudice against people belonging to a particular social class. My aunt dealt with classism when she first entered the United States. She could not receive her work visa until she had learned to speak proper English. So she took the situation upon herself without knowing anybody. She decided to read the Washington Post and to look at the news every single day for a few years. Eventually, she began to know the English language. In addition, classism was also depicted in Mary Sellers' story as well. Mary Sellers stated that when her and her mother and her family entered the United States, her mom was working as a waitress again. Now, she mentioned the word again, meaning she had previously worked as a waitress somewhere else. So this is a sign of classism because no one would hire her mother due to her incapability of not being able to speak English, and because she just came into the country as an immigrant. I believe that people should look at others based off their skills and capabilities other than their social class. After all the research that I've completed to further my knowledge for this presentation, I've gained a little more understanding on immigration and what people have to go through to become a citizen of the United States. With that being said, I've decided to volunteer and help those in need. As I mentioned in my previous presentation, I've been a Girl Scout for over a decade. With that, I've made many connections with different organizations that help the less fortunate. I want to contribute some of my time in the summer, whether it be helping out a food pantry, donating some clothes, or teaching people English. Working as a teacher's assistant last year gave me the opportunity to help children who just came into the United States with their math and their English. In the process of teaching them math, I helped them improve with their grammar as well. I plan to continue to help these people throughout my teaching career when I do become a teacher. This presentation has helped me gain more information than ever before on what it's like to come into the United States as an immigrant. As I close, I would like to say one last thing. America is the best country where both immigrants and citizens alike can chase after their dreams and aspirations. Whether it be them living in a house with a white picket fence or being a successful business owner, people have the right to be who they want to be regardless of their social class in society. Thank you, and stay safe and wash your hands.